What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Foxhound Finance, where we break down the markets using technical analysis. Please understand that I'm not a financial advisor and nothing in this video is financial advice. Okay, guys, giving you an end of the week update. Last time I updated, I believe it was last Monday or Sunday, something like that. We've had a lot of news. If I'm just going through it off the top of my head, we had the Trump versus Elon bullshit going on this past week or so. We had the Iranian strikes and Israeli war going on, whatever you want to call it. We had CPI data come out, which came out about 2.4% or 2.3%, basically went under what they thought it was going to be. I believe they were expecting like 2.5% because of the tariffs, quote unquote, and they were supposed to be like horribly affecting CPI. That did not happen, guys. Um, just a lot of noise and commotion overall, though, if I'm just thinking off the top of my head. That's just what I remember. It's been like scrambled eggs in my head looking at the freaking news and the constant Twitter posts and stuff going on. So, a lot happening, I guess, in the last week, if you will. But nonetheless, everything I talked about in the last video regarding our levels, what we were expecting, pretty much all played out to the T. Okay. So, speaking of which, we're going to go over the same usual core plays: SPY, AMC, NIO, RIVN, and DOGE today, guys. And this video might be a little bit longer because it's going to be a full update. And, I don't want to try to just like race through it because there's some key updates that I made to our charts so that we can see every possible angle of all of these plays, okay, and what's going to happen ahead of time. So jumping right into the SPY, you guys can see here, last video, what did I say? Pretty much we were bouncing around in these levels here. And again, it makes sense, guys, when you see the historic price action that has taken place in and out of these green lines here, okay? And we're coming back up to it again. So all through here, yes, it was great. You're shredding right through this with this V-shaped recovery. But up here, like you could just see the amount of price action and commotion that's happening up here. So rightfully so, that means you're going to have pullbacks and bounces and just a lot of stuff happening here. That's kind of frustrating, I guess, for some people, but when you see it the way I see it, it all makes sense. And when you know that the move is still upward trending like this and that you're going to get to a new all-time high, doesn't really bother you as much. So as you can see, those are the levels that we have right there. Last video, I told you we would probably get a bounce here before. Like I said, when we broke through this level here, pretty much you were going to have to come up to the resistance 1 here, which would be this little level back here. You definitely bounced your head off that. And when I drew off the other trend line here from the all-time high, price action met that perfectly on the dot and you bounced off that hard. So makes total sense. And I also said this because, guys, the RSI was overheated up here. It was bouncing around here for quite a while. And a good pullback was probably going to happen. I mean, it was definitely due for it. And as you can see right now, SPY sitting at 58, sorry, the RSI for SPY is sitting at 58.93. That is more so in line with where I'd want to see like another jolt move. And I told you last video, you might just see sharp spikes like that with the RSI, okay, and the price action. So all in line with what we said. Nothing was a real surprise, even with the whole news outlets pumping all this bearish stuff in the market. Guys, I already told you that when you came up here, and by the way, that was 605. I said you're either going to get like a nice straight shot out of here to the 611 double top and then come down to the 596, or you're going to get close to it and then come back down to this anyway at 596. And I know in night trading, I believe it was like when the war stuff was going on, you came down to like 591 down here. So what am I expecting going forward without going overkill on the SPY? Well, looking at the MACD, it definitely is up here riding pretty flat with the MACD looking like it's ready to cross down and start causing more bearish volume to come in, which would obviously mean the price would go down. If that is true, and we are looking at this from a bearish angle and that we're going to go down, well, I would imagine a 591 level would be your next target. And for whatever reason, if you go deeper than that, guys, you're looking at like a 583 before a reversal back to the upside. Okay. And that would definitely give the RSI time to cool down from 558, 59 down to probably 50, maybe 49. That would definitely give it more gas in the tank for the next real push to go forward. Okay. And that might just look like more of a steady, slow progression to a new all-time high instead of like a straight, squeeze candle type of thing. And this is the freaking broader market. It's the SPY. That's what we would expect anyways. So looking at this, looks very in position to me. MACD is right there teetering. The only thing that I could say is just given the RSI being at 59, I could definitely see another pop back to the overbought, maybe 70 again, and then you get up to the 611 and then come back down again. Okay, that's what I think's going to happen, is that you're going to see a lot of commotion in here, maybe coming up to the all-time high, maybe just getting right above it and then coming back down. And if you do come back down, maybe you start to bounce on this level here, which would be your 605 next. And this would be new support, right? Maybe it's something like that. You get up here to 611, 620. I think I said this in a couple videos ago. Once you get up there, new all-time high, but not a super crazy all-time high, but just enough where it gives a little bit of space for it to come back down, cool off to the 605, and then again you would make another shot at it. It would pretty much look like this. If I'm going to go ahead of time, guys, future sight wise, boom, this would basically be the level, what it would look like. And I will just really quickly use a drawing tool to show you this. So you get up here, boom, you come up, either you bounce off this, right, and come back down off the all-time high, okay, for a double top, trade in this thing, maybe take another shot bouncing in here and then burst through. Once you get up to, like, say the 620 up here, you would come back down right here at the 611 and then make maybe your next move up, okay? And it's just going to continue this way, okay, at least for a while before the market finally hits that topping point. But that's what I'm seeing going forward, okay? So SPY looks very good. It's doing everything that I said pretty much it would do, given the nature of what was going on up here. And despite all the crazy news, we already called this ahead of time before the bullshit set in. So knowing this, let's go over and look at AMC. I've made some more adjustments to the chart and upgraded it, I guess you could say, upgraded the chart. And again, trading in the channel from back here last year in May, bouncing around. Finally, guys, you got this trend reversal. And I'll tell you what, you have not had this uptrend. I wouldn't even call the 238 an uptrend like that, really, from this point, because you could see the price action obviously was downtrending until here. But this is pretty much your all-time low support, right? Is at that 238 range. And it's obviously ascending higher as you go along. Now here is a very sharp move up. What we want to see is not this, where you come up and then just start to descend even further down like this, you know, and come back down here to like $1.80, $1.90. That's not what I'm imagining is going to happen with this. All of the resistance lines here are historic. Like these are all historic resistance trend lines here. Okay. And they're all starting to converge now and tighten up. And you can see here on the daily, if I zoom in on this, right, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels of support down here. I just don't see us, guys, breaking through all of this support. I don't see us breaking through all this support. And how the resistance lines are set up are more so weak compared to your upward trend lines now. Look at how strong and the trajectory of these upward trend lines are versus the downside of these resistance lines, right? If you just use a naked eye to it, you could see that it looks like it's getting weak in here now as this thing is starting to reverse. And again, on the daily, you have a green candle closing in the wedge between this trend line here, this resistance line to the downside, broke sideways through that one. And it looks like this one right here from our $4, our recent $4 top, looks like this one's already going to get broken to the upside, right? Because you're sitting right here on these two support lines. So for me, I would expect that you would break this one too and come up at least to this one to test 360, probably reject down until we wedge inside of here, kind of like creating another pennant. I did have a pennant here drawn. It was like a yellow, you know, something like this, right? It was something like this in here, I believe, and it broke to the downside. It was something rough like that. But pretty much, I told you guys that when it broke the pennant, it was going to come down to support, and that's exactly what happened. It broke to the downside. Obviously, I think on this red candle here is what happened. And you know, now we got the bounce off the support lines. We came to what, 315. So now I'm expecting a bounce off here. The green candle looks pretty decent to at least get us to 360. Bounce around in here. That would take you to what, 627, right? If we're going to play this slow, this is what I'm imagining. Like we're going to bounce around in here and just continue to take these lines, okay, going upward and having these supports stay intact. So without going too hard with this thing, the other scenario, guys, is that you get an impulsive shot through all of this, okay? And that's also on the table, right? I told you guys that that's definitely on the table because with these, you know, kind of meme stock, impulsive plays, highly shorted plays, whatever you want to say, they definitely could do that. You know, you could see a melt through all of this. And I told you guys that like breaking this right now, even as I've mapped out all these macro resistance lines, I expect that breaking through all this is going to take you right up to at least $11, if not, you know, even further than that, to like these first gap fill zones, right? 17, 18 bucks, 23 bucks, whatever. That would be very, very powerful move to the upside before you come down and then, you know, build out a new base. But that would be fantastic to see, of course. But I want to prepare everybody for the more slow grind. And there's a lot of commotion happening right here, guys. Lots of commotion happening within these resistance and support lines. So keep that in mind. When I go to the 4-hour, you can even see it right here that the price action is now starting to break through these resistance lines. 1, 2, 3, all getting broken to the side. Even with this red candle here, you can see that it's going sideways and breaking resistance, leaving us only, guys, with 1, 2, and the top of this channel 3 to burst out of here before I think you get that, you know, 6 or that $12 move, right? That's what I'm thinking right now. Going forward. And what does that look like? If you see where these converge, right? When you see where your support and resistance meet, you have, if it's a very slow grind, end of June, you would expect a push through here. And then again, if you go further, you would expect right here, 716. If it's going to be a slow grind, that are at least points of interest right here where you see the support and resistance meeting each other. And if that is going to be a continued like sort of upside reaction, then you would imagine you'll break the channel and then you'll be on your way, guys, to that at least 10, 11, 12, 13 bucks, whatever, and those kind of targets going forward. So it looks very good from this angle, from what I'm seeing, that all of this support is now established and held. That's what you want to see. And not only that, but the box office itself is like 2.1 billion. I think we're on pace probably for like a 2.2, maybe 2.3 billion, depending on how the end of the month movies are factored into the earnings and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind. Really good quarter overall. And again, just another element to add to this. When you look at the RSI, pretty neutral position in a really good spot. It's at 42 on the 4-hour. It is at 48 on the daily. So in another good position to make a good burst move. So that's why I told you guys, like, there's definitely enough in the tank where you could just smash through all of this and then get you up to that 12 bucks. No problem in my eyes. Based on where the launch pad is for this thing, it definitely could just get there, especially because you already carved out that resistance before. EMA wise, 409 on the fucking 200 EMA. It's just, it's ridiculous at this point. And all you have going on here, guys, with the EMAs on the bottom is that they're all converged now with the price action. And the 20 crossed the 50. The 20 has crossed the 100. And might have crossed, did it cross it down to the downside yet? It might just be synced up. Yes, it's touching the 100 right now. And then you see the candle like rejecting off of the 100 EMA right here. It's kind of funny, like how this stuff is all coming to fruition. But nonetheless, like, it is all right here, guys, for the taking. And again, I just told you, like, if you do get a candle to push up to this level, what do you think is going to happen with the 50? 50 is going to cross to 100, and you're going to get serious price action triggers to go over this 200, and then it's over. It is going to be a huge rapid fire increase to the upside. So that looks incredible, guys, with the EMAs. You have everything in line with the EMAs, what you want to see. MACD wise, yes, if you look at this, you can see that the MACD line crossed the signal line, and look, you can see the bearish volume kind of is getting bigger. It's stacking here. So based on where the RSI is at, though, at 48, it is in that kind of like more bearish side territory. So let's just play this out. If you were to break down, right, you know, from this area, let's say the next candle comes in, you're probably going to print like right here. Yeah, 616, I guess. You would print a candle down here to like what? 292. So if 292 holds, okay, you're going to have another support meeting resistance right here, guys, just a couple days after that. And so what's going to happen is if it's like, again, more bearish, then you would get a breakdown to the 270-ish range. But you could see that where the resistance lines are meeting each other, right? So again, the following week after that, let's just say it's in this bearish downside action. When this meets again, it's only going to go one of two ways, guys. Like, if it breaks to the upside, you're probably going to get a huge candle to melt right through this, because, like, look at the gap, right? All you have is support here, pretty much. These are your previous support candles. So I would imagine like you would just have a huge shot candle right through this, maybe even breaking this one. So especially if by that point, guys, if this is selling off like this, then your RSI is going to be like fucking really oversold, probably under 40. Your MACD will be ready to flip back up. And again, these are getting weaker. Like these resistance lines, guys, are getting weaker. Okay. So I think that even if you break down to this level, there's even a good chance you break right through this. Okay. On the next one. So that is what I'm looking at from more so the micro price action here, the day to day, if we don't get this straight shot moon candle. All right. So MACD showed you that. The EMAs look great. The RSI looks great. Pretty much, guys, that's really all I can think of. This is it. What you have in front of you is what you're waiting to break through. And I'm telling you, if we take like this zone, if we start to take these little zones in here like this, and you just start to see price action fill this all the way through this, it looks great. You just fill these zones out, it's over. Okay, when you get out of the whole fucking channel, you get out of the historic resistance lines, this is what it's coming down to, right? And I'd imagine like right here, if you're bouncing and you're staying on the support and it's not bearish, like look at this. As far as this can go from what I can see, guys, unless you have something mapped out differently than me, fucking late July, maybe they could drag it to. I don't see like how much further it can be taken, and stretched out. So AMC looks incredible, looks very good. This is everything we wanted to see. On the 4 hour, you see it. On the 1 hour, you see it. Like, look at this little box that it's trading in, and there's just a huge push up here, guys. Huge gap to come up here too. Maybe this level here. I don't want to fucking have like 50 million lines on here, but you're like, yes, there's like a line right here to come up to, but it's nothing. Like this is all minimal stuff. So you still have tons of space to go up in here, and I would imagine you come up to like 357, 360 in here, and then bounce around a little bit. Okay. So looks very good, guys, across the board. That's what I'm saying for AMC. Price targets remain the same, guys. Like if I'm looking at this, look at this. This is an all-time macro freaking resistance line. This is how nuts it is. Okay. But everything remains the same. Like you get out of here, guys. There's so much pressure here. You get out of here. You're attacking these gap fill boxes all the way up here to the top for like the 55 dollar level or whatever. Okay. I just messed it up. No. So, and again, I drew that on the daily, so the weekly looks a little funny. But I wanted to show you guys just for the price from the overall outlook, like how flat and pancaked and pressurized it is down here. You break through this, guys, you're done. You're coming up to at least here, whether that's building a new base or attacking these levels now. Okay, so looks incredible. Nothing more to see with AMC. I love where it's at though. Let's look at, what do we say, NIO next? Let's go NIO. So same thing here, guys. I pretty much mapped out everything I possibly could from an overall macro resistance line structure, support structure. You have your channel repeating fractal structure. Everything now, guys, is here in front of you. There's nothing else like I can show you other than like this right here. This entire region, it is so compressed. There is so much pressure in this area, guys. Fucking NIO, when it breaks to the upside here, it's going to be nasty. I think this thing is going to do exactly what it did in 2018 to 2020 back here, where you just see continuous upward movement. I'm sorry. I just can't see it any other way. And again, I'm staying in line with the actual structure here first to the top of this. Like that is my top end price target and the immediate structure, right? This $24, $25. You have to see how the price responds after it gets up here. But guys, like when it did it before, it just kept going. And it's in a much stronger position, I think, than it's been in since 2018. Okay. And you see all the resistance meeting the support down here. Let's go to the daily. Look at this like a little bit deeper. Okay. Looking at the daily for NIO, look at this way this price action is bouncing here. Okay. Maybe you come down here to this support line here. If you break this one, I'm fine, guys, with a double bottom at 302. Because I'm telling you, look at the resistance. Guys, the price action is right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. If it breaks this laser wall that's fucking set up here, this is absolutely going to start sparking. I'm telling you. And right here, at least for the immediate support that I had from like the more short term, you can see the red lines or the candles breaking through this green support line right here, right? So yes, it looks like to me it would make sense for NIO to come at least down here to 339. But if not, if this doesn't hold, then yeah, NIO is going to come down through here. Okay, it's probably going to bounce through here. But if I'm looking at this from like an inside price action, you see this level here, it was a bounce up off this. So we also have to keep this in mind that when it does break trend, okay, if it does break this trend, this has been a support right here prior. And this was just really what? In the beginning of June, a couple weeks ago, where it bounced at this level. Okay, I told you guys I thought it was going to bounce through this level and get us to double bottom. It didn't even do that yet. It actually came here, got support, bounced off all this resistance, guys. Look at this in front of you for NIO. I don't give a fuck about what everybody's saying on Twitter and they're bearish and they're talking shit. This thing, I'm telling you, is fucking primed. Like, it bounced off this, comes through, maybe comes off the yellow, and it might just rip right through this. Worst case scenario, you're going to go like this, like come down and you're going to bounce sideways. It's literally, if it goes sideways, guys, fine through July, it breaks all the resistance and then it just goes. Okay? So nothing else really from a structure standpoint for me to break down with this. Let's just look at the indicators real quick. And this video will be a little bit longer because I want to take you guys through everything that I'm seeing. 40 on the RSI, ready for an upside move. That's what you want to see when you're expecting a big impulsive move, especially where the positioning of this chart is right now and the candle and the price actions all set up. Looks very good for that. EMA wise, 1, 2, 3, 4, all structured, all in line with each other, coiled up, ready to blow. Like, this is not going to take much price action to flip the 20 over to 50, to 50 over to 100, and the 100 over to 200 and send this thing upward. Okay, that's what you want to see, is these all lined up. Your MACD, what are we looking at in the MACD? Have we flipped yet? Oh, look at this. You can see back here, MACD crossed down the signal line. I told you guys that's going to key in some of the bearish volume. Now the bearish volume's fading and it's flat right now. It's kind of neutral, trying to make a decision. If the MACD line comes back up and pushes, guys, that's going to be enough to send the price action over that resistance. I'm telling you, it's right here. It's primed and ready to go. You're in a key area. Okay, key area with the MACD and RSI lined up and the EMAs. Those indicators telling me this thing's ready to pop. Okay. And the worst case scenario is you fulfill a double bottom down here and then you surge through up through this anyways. Doesn't matter. Okay. You're still going to get through this. I don't think that this thing is going to go down to like new all-time fucking lows and stuff. I just don't see it. Okay. I think it just holds this structure. It's pinched in here and maybe she just goes, you know, right through this. That's what it looks like to me on my structures, on my setups. Okay. And again, historically, when you see this playing out and it breaks this channel, guys, I just don't see why we wouldn't get some version of this, even if it's just a straight like this right here, even if it's just coming up to the top of this, that's totally fine by me. If we're not going to get too fucking gung-ho, this looks incredible. Okay. All this price action meeting right here. It's so much pressure. So looks very good. Let's go take a look at RIVN real quick, guys, because this one is also in another key position. And I have not added my trend line setup to this one yet because, again, RIVN's doing pretty much what it's supposed to do. It's being very good. RIVN's being very good to us. I thought it was going to reverse like off this, if I can remember correctly, guys. I was like, it didn't really touch this trend line yet, and it still hasn't touched the damn trend line on the daily. I want this thing to come down, do the confirmation test of the top of this channel, guys, at now 1316. We just need to get to 1316, have the candle hold here, get a green candle off, and I believe this thing is going to start its bullish scenario upward. I think the bullish cycle is going to start for RIVN if you can just confirm on this top of this channel line and then start to progress up this thing. I think that is going to be amazing to see happen, and getting us up to $28 initially. That would be the key area I would be looking at. At least same thing for NIO, at least for the short term. That's what I want to see, is getting above here. And then afterwards, we'll see what happens with this market if this thing continues to soar, which, again, these are the key turnaround points, guys. When you break these descending channels, you come up, like, look how close it is. I explained this to you guys months ago at this point, pretty much the inception of my channel, when we were back in here, in this area. I said, look, it's got to come up. It breaks out. You're going to come down and test. Like, look at this, 17 bucks down to 13 bucks, a $4 drop on the stock. I hear people still talking crazy shit about RIVN. This is all part of the process, guys. It's supposed to come down and do this. It's literally cents away from exploding off this thing. If it can confirm and get a strong candle to close above this after touching this trend, and we start to see those candles float back up here, this thing's on its way. Okay? You're not going to see this come down, test, confirm, get up here, and then fucking come down and break through this. Okay, unless somebody did some illegal shit and like they did something with the company and they fucked something up, there's no reason for this to come up and then come back down and bust through this if you confirm on this. So this looks incredible. MACD wise, again, MACD crossing down already during that $4 drop. That's what I want to see. I know people are like, you're fucking crazy. Why do you want to see this go down? Because I know that the next move coming is going to be the one that pushes you out of this entire structure and gets you on the bullish cycle to start. So yes, this just needs to curl back up over the signal line. We might, like I said, need more bearish volume to come in so we can get that 13.15 touch. You're trading at 13.40, so we need this thing to come down like 30 cents, right? So we need this right now to do its thing. So that looks very good EMA wise. And again, we're on the daily here. This looks incredible. You have the 200 now acting as support. I'm just going to like pull my hair out at this point. Like I can't even be more excited about this. The 200 is literally floating where you need to come down and touch. The 200 is sitting right at the top of the channel. The price action's more than likely going to come down to the 200 and treat that as support now. We saw this with Carvana. We saw this with Robinhood. These setups, guys, very similar, happening right now in front of you again. So this price action comes down to this 200, confirms, bounces off, and as the 200 starts to ascend up, the price action will just treat that as support and just keep bouncing to the upside, if not the 100, right? The 200 and 100 I expect are going to be the new support for RIVN. Looks fantastic. You can't get any better than that. So yes, across the board, RSI 40, EMA is in position, MACD doing its thing, doing what we need it to do. There's nothing else here. Nothing else here for me to go over. So we just went over AMC, the SPY went over NIO. Let's just look at DOGE real quick. Here, again, I mapped this out for DOGE, and I will do it for the other plays, guys, just to give us even more macro support and resistance lines. But this thing looks good, too. Like, look at the pressure for Dogecoin. Pressured right up in here. You can see the price action just wedged right in here, guys. So what do you think is going to happen? Essentially, what you have going on here is, again, is like another symmetrical triangle or pennant, whatever you guys want to call it, between the green line and red line, resistance and support here. Price action just bouncing around, bouncing around, bouncing around here. I think what happens is if you break through this, if you get a candle close above here, you're going to go up to at least this red line, if not break through it, and you're going to ascend up. If you get a candle close, obviously below here, you're coming down to the support of 14 cents. It'd be 14, 15 cents. So you might get a nice little discount down here if the price action breaks below the support line. So far, it's holding it. But if you break through it, you come down to 14 cents, it might chop trade in this range until you get to this point and it come up, maybe break to this top right here, 17 cents. It's all relative, guys, to when you get to these key apex points of these setups, right? So 622, we are going to know if it doesn't break through this now, we're going to know where this is headed. If we get the close below and this thing drifts down, then yes, like these are your support bounce targets right here, guys. All right. Hopefully not fucking 8 cents or 5 cents or whatever this is, but like you're coming up to key points. And I imagine the resistance is getting much weaker. Like if you look at the trajectory of the resistance lines, guys, they're almost like kind of flat walling down. Okay. So the fact that you have these nice stretched out, fanned out support lines is looking very good to me. I think that this price action could just bounce right through this. And then when you get up there, guys, it's over. Like you're coming up to like 40 cents, 41 cents if you can break above these three resistance lines here. So that's what I'm seeing right now for Dogecoin. It looks really good. I've said this probably 4 million times now, is that the tops are doubling every time this thing goes on a run. The last run that you had before this one, guys, was back in March of 2024 last year. Then you had another run come this past December, right? 2024. And we have not had a major run since this sell-off. And again, by the way, I believe I said that every top here has fallen 67%. Okay, roughly. It's about 63 to 67% after every top, it starts to rebound. And you've done that already. And the fact that it's December 2024 that you last had your top move, you're probably going to see this guys come, like I said, end of summer. Okay, I took the fucking fractal stuff off because I had August being the apex of this move for Doge anyway. And as you can see, like, look at right here. If you stay above, well, look, I mean, doesn't mean, let's say you don't even like break through this. Let's say we don't ride the top of this trend line and then like gets a straight shot up here. Pretty much, guys, like if you even go sideways and break through this, even coming to the downside a little bit, and you break through this, you're looking right there, August, September, very slow. That's like if it goes fucking flat line. But we know how this thing trades. It range trades. So I'd imagine like this thing is going to burst through this. You're going to get at least a touch up here to 40 something cents, right? Maybe if I want to draw some levels out like this, you might see something like this for Doge where it comes up to this, maybe here. Like you probably would surge through these or bounce through these areas, I would imagine. But yeah, if you need a consolidation zone after ripping up to this, here it is. Okay, between 25 and 28. And then you just get another rip up to this resistance line before coming back down, maybe to this support line. Okay, but this looks very good to me, guys. It looks like this is in position to go on some major melt up moves similar to this right here. I'm waiting for this probably end of the summer as what I imagine this is going to look like, is like a straight shot pretty much like this. Okay, so Dogecoin looks very good. Everything that I'm seeing, guys, is all lined up. Like I said, I hope this made sense today for you guys. I hope that it kind of painted the picture even more clear, even though I have a lot of fucking craziness on here. But when you really dig into it and you look at this and you study trend lines like I have, and the indicators that I have, this thing looks in position, albeit, yes, it can be frustrating. Yes, it can be slow. Yes, people's money can be tied up and it makes it more frustrating. But I'm telling you guys, when this thing gets out of here, you're gone. Like this thing should start to move up, whether it is in a progression or impulsive move for AMC and the rest of these other ones here. Okay. So that's all I have for you guys today for this big update video. Like I said, always, like I said, subscribe, always comment, always leave a like on the video, share the video, guys, because again, we are entering that phase like towards the end. Even though it's getting us clustered and we're kind of pinched right now, we are entering the end phase of all these plays. Okay. And the breakout phase, I think, is going to be very fun because some of these are going to run like very impulsively, like straight line. Some of them are going to have just nice, really calm progressions compared to what you guys are used to seeing happen with the downside action that you guys have seen for like 4 years. It's going to feel really different for you. So that's my opinion, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in another update probably Monday. We'll see what happens, okay, with the price action and where this goes. But I'm expecting like where we are on a lot of these guys that everything's kind of in a decision point, right? Maybe makes a nice little push up and we continue to see those progressive moves. So that's where I stand right now. I'll see you guys then.